We have Morehead State first-year head coach Chris Rose taking over the Eagles program, who picked fourth in our preseason poll, won first place vote. Coach, let's just talk about, you were been with the program, you were interim, now you've been named the full-time coach. Tell us about that whole process as we get ready to kick off the season.
Yeah, I didn't really anticipate that happening. And Coach Ward, who I'd love to work with, just got an opportunity with a major league team and took it. And just really happened basically that day, got brought into the office and they made me interim. And then I guess earlier this week, it became official that I got the head title. So it's I'm very, very happy about it, very excited about the opportunity.
Talk about you. There's some continuity, right? You've already been with the program, but how does it shift? Like when you shift over a seat on the bench, like doing the things that you want to do versus the things that are in place, and how does all that work timing wise?
Sure. I mean, I think it doesn't matter who you work for. You're always going to have little things that you would change. And there aren't a lot, but there are a few things that we're going to do a little bit differently, not very many. And I was given a lot of input the last, 3 years that I was here. So, yeah, I don't think there's going to be a ton of change in terms of the way we organize and run practice. The way we hold the standards of the program, I would say those things really haven't changed.
You lost, and this is a blanket question too. In the league, there was only 2 returning All OVC players from last year. Let's talk about your team too. Obviously, you had some people hit some monster home runs, played in a bunch of games in Morehead State history. That I think that's the age we live in, but it's a brand new team. Talk about just that turnover, how you all go about filling those voids, and what you expect from the team this year.
Sure. Obviously, we did lose a lot, and I think a lot of teams in our league did. It was just that time between COVID guys and guys getting extra years, and it was just a very older league. I think Division I baseball as a whole was older last year than it probably had ever been. But for us, yeah, I think we graduated like 106 home runs and 422 RBIs. Just a very offensive club. And then our Friday night guy graduated him. So, and I think 5 of those guys are now playing pro ball. So I'm excited for them and their opportunities and what they did for the program. But that happened, long before, obviously me. Coach McGuire set the foundation for that a long time ago and brought the right players in out of high school, and those guys just continually got better. And then Coach Aoki took over. Obviously, we kept moving forward. Then Brady, and now I guess the baton's passed to me. But those players like Roman Kuntz with 33 home runs is not replaceable. Nicky Gooden was the best defensive second baseman in the country. I think he made 2 errors all year, and one of those was the one game he played at shortstop. He was a 3-0 hitter for an offense that produced, as we had just talked about. Riley Priest was our center fielder, and he did back-to-back 20 home run seasons. And then Ryan Grable was probably the best defensive catcher that I've ever been able to coach. And then there's guys that are just like the heartbeat of the team, with Logan Castleman coming back, and just because he wanted to be a part of the team, and then taking up a big role, and Guzman at third, kind of being the heartbeat of the team. And losing those guys will be very, very hard to replace, to be honest with you. That being said, I do think we've done a good job recruiting. I think we have young, hungry guys that came in, and a few JUCO transfers as well. We haven't hit the transfer portal. Those are mostly JUCO transfers, but I think that's helped us out in terms of, we also haven't been hit by the transfer portal. It hasn't hurt us, but we haven't used it very much. It's been mostly high school kids and junior college transfers. But yeah, I like what we have coming in. We've been good on the mound this spring. It was kind of I don't know, I guess how would I say this? We got better through the course of the fall, like learning ourselves and how each guy had to pitch, but it necessarily didn't come out on the mound. But the second they got back in January, we've just pitched it really well. Now, we haven't played a game yet, so none of it matters. But we've pitched it better than I would have anticipated it. So anytime you feel like you're in a good spot on the mound, you feel pretty good about it.
What do you think then your strength is? And maybe your strength on it's February 6th. Maybe that's different than what it's going to be on May 6th. But right now, what do you think this team's strength will be?
I tell you, because we are young and we're replacing so many guys, I think we'll be offensive. We'll just score runs a little bit differently. I don't think there'll be as many home runs, obviously, as we've hit, but we'll be very offensive and score runs. Pitching staff wise, the back end of the bullpen is going to be able to shorten games. So I'm excited about that. And then we have about 6 guys vying for starting jobs, those weekend starting jobs, and they're pushing each other. I think that's a good thing. And then getting Grant Heron back, who was our Saturday guy, and he didn't lose a Saturday start the year before, but he blew out at Ole Miss, and he'll be back a couple weeks before conference, and we'll plug him back in. So he'll be a big addition, and his leadership has been huge for the club as well. So
tell us a little about your schedule. You got Arkansas State to start, and play Kentucky was in the College World Series. You always play Louisville. You get a lot of teams. You got a lot of teams coming to you in February too. So just talk about that.
Sure. Yeah, we open up at Arkansas State, and Coach Silva did a phenomenal job at Nichols last year. I think they won like 38 games, and I'm with my background, I'm kind of aware of that place, and it's just they're tough blue collar people, which is kind of what we try to build our program around. And so I expect that. I mean, I think they're going to come out and try to punch us in the mouth. I'm just assuming that that's what they're going to be. I think he brought 7 or 8 guys over with him from Nichols, so that they're going to know how to win. And so it'll be a tough test out of the gate. After that, we have UK, who's obviously who they are, and Minge does obviously a phenomenal job, but World Series appearances, wins, they really put pressure on you on the mound and on the base paths, and they make you defend the baseball. So it's a good test early, not only just because of the talent level, but because they're going to make you play holistic baseball. They're going to make you defend the baseball, and they're going to exploit any weaknesses that you have, and you can go back and work on those, afterwards. I think after that, it's St. Bonaventure, who I guess, I don't know, when Brady scheduled it, I didn't know if he knew they were going to have a Friday night guy throwing 102 and a Saturday, Sunday guy that were each up to 97. So that's exciting. And then Quinnipiac, and I think then we play Louisville. So that kind of gets us off the snide.
We asked this earlier in terms of your team, but what about the rest of the league? And you've seen it for the last couple of years as an assistant, but with the turnover, like, what do you expect? It seems like the competition level and the closeness between the teams is as good as it's ever been.
Yeah, I think there's just obviously a lot of parity in the league. We won it the year before. Little Rock won it last year, and then SEMO's went to the regional each of those times. I think SEMO being at ranked top is the obvious choice. I mean, they've been to the regional, phenomenal job, and I think they've earned that. But I don't know that these rankings mean anything. Would it shock me if I'm on the list, we're at the top of the list? No, it wouldn't. It's really, really solid baseball throughout. There's no one that you go into their place or they come into yours going, yeah, this is a W. Like, anybody can beat you at any point in time. And I mean, the jumps UT Martin has made over the past couple of years has been phenomenal. And I think they're going to take another step forward this year. So there's going to be just a high level of competition in the league.
With college baseball, there's been some implementations of instant replay, pitch clocks. We've seen double first base. There's lots of different little things like that that have come into the game. Is there anything like that that's made like a really positive impact that you've seen and have really helped the game over the last 3 or 4 years? And maybe the answer is it's all the same, but just want to get everybody's opinion on that.
I'm not a fan of reinventing the game. I am a fan of trying to shorten the game a little bit. I think it's hard for a family to want to come out and spend 4 hours watching a baseball game. I love baseball, and that's a long time. Anything to speed it up a little bit is good. I hated the idea, to be honest with you, when the pitch clock came out. Now I love it. I think just the tempo and the pace of everything. I think it's made the game better for the players and the fans. So I would tell you that makes the biggest impact for me. The first base this year, we've been using it for a couple weeks now. I don't see any negatives to that. I only see positives. And then, the idea of the replay is good to me. I do believe that I think a jump in just the number of cameras that can really be used, because there were a lot of times last year where I felt like we would review a play and there just wasn't a view of the play. So then we're wasting 5 minutes of time going to look at something that we're not getting any result from. So I would say that would be, and that issue's being addressed because we've talked about it in all the meetings that we've had. But that would just be the one thing that I would say that is kind of a point of contention. But other than everything else, from the pitch clock to the base, to all that kind of stuff, I think it's been a positive.
Well, Coach, appreciate your time this morning. Best of luck and best weather to you and your team this season.
Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate you.